This is part 2 of me teaching you how to create realistic food in Blender. If you didn't watch the first part, click here. Otherwise, Pnina is back again, and let's pick up from where we left in step 4. Right now our model looks flat, and I don't like it looking flat. But I don't like to sculpt either! Well, let me introduce you to the Displacement modifier, the more easy, accurate, and less nightmare-making approach. First, we need to get rid of those big two hexagons and turn them into quads and triangles. Then, add a subd modifier, change the method to simple, and set the subdivision to 4 in both render and viewport. Apply the object scale, and then finally, add a displacement modifier to the stack. Create a new texture. I'll name mine Pnina texture. Next, click on this bottom tab you might have never used. What? I used it many times before. We can see that our texture is already preloaded for us, so all is left to do is to open the displacement texture we created in step 2, and voila! Amazing how horrible it looks. We just need to play a bit with the numbers. And when that doesn't work, to realize we forgot to change the coordinates from local to UV. Much better. Don't forget to shade smooth, and we'll add another subd modifier in the end to give it a smooth finish. It starts to really look like a real rice cracker, but we can do better in here. First, the roughness. Remember the texture we downloaded in step 2? Well, here they are in the file browser. I'll add a specular map in and connect it to the purple node as well. Then, I'll add a color ramp in between the connections so we can decide on the roughness range. A rice cracker isn't really shiny, so I'll set it between 0.6 to 0.8. Now down to the normal. Let's drag his map in as well and change the color space to non-color. Connect it to a bump node and set the strength of it to a very low value, like 0.2, so my laptop will not crash. Okay, let's give it a render! And that's, my friend, how you create a realistic rice cracker. Hey Pnina, what is this weird cylinder rock? It's not a rock, it's a... Oh! Subsurface scattering! I didn't forgot, I just... tested you. Anyways, you go to the principal BSDF node and... Wait, what even is subsurface scattering? You're probably familiar with creating materials like plastic, metal, or concrete. When light hits the surface made of one of those, it simply bounces off. Those are called diffuse materials, because they don't have a subsurface layer. But with other materials, like skin, apple, or even a rice cracker, the light doesn't just bounce off. Instead, some of it travels through the material, spreads below the surface, and exits from the other side, causing the object to glow slightly. Huh? Don't panic. Here's a real-life example to better show it. When putting something like a GameCube in front of a flashlight, nothing happens. The cube looks exactly the same. But if we will do the same thing with our finger, well, suddenly it glows red. This is what we call subsurface scattering. Oh, now I get it. Okay, back to past me! Open the subsurface dropdown and drag the weight all the way to 1 to activate the subsurface scattering effect. When I think of the color of the light that passes through a rice cracker, I think of a white light with a yellowish tint to it. That will be our radius. As for the scale, 0.05, maybe 0.06 works well for me. But you will have to try different values yourself to find what fits your model best. And same with anisotropy. I found 0.4 to work well for me. Okay, this time it really is done. Now we can finally move to create the animations and the lighting and the background and the packages and all the other crackers, of course, and I need those labels too, don't forget those. If after seeing all of those steps you feel lost and just want to have the final model in your hand, or if you do want to follow along, but rice crackers are banned in your house so you cannot create your own textures, you can always buy them from me. First link in the description.